Welcome to Amir's podcast. I'm your host, Amir Ardabili. Hey guys, today is a special day. I'm sitting down with two of my favorite people in martial arts. Truly, they both know it. They're both returning guests of Amir's podcast. I have Supreme Leader Grandmaster, great Grandmaster, Professor Rob Kahn, and I have there's a special pizza they make. They call it Supreme Pizza. Extra mushroom. Grandmaster, doctor degree in Taekwondo. Hey, they both know that I'm joking because that's going to be one of our subjects for today's show. Because I was telling my friends that when I sit down with some of the most knowledgeable martial artists that we have in Tampa Bay area, between Rob Kahn and Ralph Garcia, the more they know, the more humble they are. And they truly, they don't seek to be called professor, doctor, or give each other a doctorate degree or 20th degree black belt. These guys know what they can do, and they're okay with that. But today we decided we're going to have some fun with this anyway. And I'm not going to even tell you about my title. Oh my God. It's just like, as long as my name. Amir Nawab Safieddin Ardabili, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, hey guys, welcome back. It's great to have both of you guys. You guys are definitely, your name and your reputation speaks for itself. When it comes to Jiu-Jitsu, everybody knows who Rob Kahn is. And when it comes to American top team in Tampa Bay area, the man who's not only choking people out, but also sweeping their legs and kick their legs down. I mean, I see it all day long. A man who has Taekwondo background, Judo background, Jiu-Jitsu background, American Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you name it. And everybody thinks that Rob is a Jiu-Jitsu instructor, which he is. He's one of the best. But he's also a well-known Golden Glove champion boxer. He knows boxing. So a lot of times he's sitting down here, he keeps his head down, he shakes it when I'm teaching. He says, what is he doing? I know he's laughing underneath that hoodie. Anyway, welcome back to the show, guys. Thanks for being here. We're going to start with Ralph. Ralph, go ahead, my friend. Take it away. Talk about anything you want.
Anything we want.
Today we are here to make fun of ourselves. We'll make fun of other people. We're going to talk trash, and then we can afford it and we can back it up.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
All right. So starting with that note, so we've been talking about doing a comedy show. Mm-hmm. And
so you see now I'm capable of doing it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So we just got to plan it for 2026, do like a charity event where we pick a charity and we give the money to that. But all of us come up, do our little set, like 5-10 minutes. Rob can close it. And I think it'd be funny, especially all the experiences we've had in the martial arts, the different people, the traveling and all this. I remember being 10 guys deep in a room, and who's going to sleep on the bed? Oh, I got the floor. It's just so many funny stories.
I think it's a fantastic idea. When you told me the first time, I started laughing to myself. I said, okay, my students, they only know me as Amir, the coach. And, of course, I'm very close to my students, and we do joke and we have fun, but they don't know me as a comedian, which I don't think I am, but I think we all could, come up with something funny. Yeah. So, I can only imagine what's going to happen. Then, of course, knowing that he was going to do it, I really want to see him telling some jokes.
Yeah, no, this is going to go either really, really well or really, really bad.
Yeah, I don't think it could go bad. I mean, I've seen some of the posts you put sometimes, your political posts on Facebook. Those are funny enough to make anybody laugh. And of course, anytime you have somebody who's the opposition sitting in a crowd, that's going to get interesting because we're going to have some people coming from the left, far left, and then we have some people coming from the far right. And I want to see you talk about Trump. That's what I want to see.
Oh, I would assume that's inevitable.
That's going to be interesting. Now, let's go back to the martial arts. Now, last two times that I had you guys, of course, separately, we had some serious conversation about martial arts. Today, I decided we're going to change the mood and have some fun with the conversation. Of course, having both of you is a great honor, a great pleasure. You both have a lot of experience in the world of martial arts. But I have some questions that a lot of people have, and some of them may sound stupid and idiotic, but I'm going to ask it anyway because every question to me is important. So, what's the difference between, or is there a thing called combat jiu-jitsu and a regular jiu-jitsu? Like, say, for example, if you have competition jiu-jitsu or jiu-jitsu that is more practical in a street fight.
Well, I mean, there's certainly, people could teach for more tournament style or street effectiveness, But like nowadays, every single martial art just slaps jiu-jitsu on their, you know, I mean, like it's become such a generic term.
It's a must.
It's just a generic term
Yeah.
at this point, you know? It's like karate.
Yeah. But you think jiu-jitsu is an art that is definitely a must-know art when it comes to combat?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody, especially like law enforcement, things like that, they should all be training that regularly, which they don't.
Striking, ground fighting, and wrestling.
But you know, a lot of times, again, my questions are from things that I've heard, and not so. I mean, I'm a martial artist, obviously, and I do believe in jiu-jitsu, and I believe in what we do. However, a lot of my questions comes from the questions that I hear from other people. So I want to make sure we could clear the air for some people. So okay, so when we say okay, when it comes to law enforcement and the police officers, jiu-jitsu is important, but the contradiction comes, or at least that's what they say, okay, as a police officer, last thing you want to do is go to the ground. Last place you want to go is to the ground. So how do we explain that?
Well,
Well,
go ahead, Ralph.
I think with law enforcement, I don't think the last place you want to go to the ground, if you're trying to apprehend somebody, you're trying not to hurt them because they're not allowed to do chokeholds and things like that. But they have to get the situation in a control position. So
When you take them to the ground then?
you have to take them to the ground to get a control
Wouldn't it
position.
be easier to just kick him in the leg? I mean, but again, police officers are not supposed to do that. Is that
Yeah,
right?
they're not supposed to do that.
And I think if I become a chief of police, I'm let everybody do a shin kick. You know, break somebody's leg, take him
Just
down. You don't
sweep
have
the
to.
leg. That's all you got to do.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, 'cause you do it all the time. I mean, you sweep the leg and then you sit on the back or on the chest and put the handcuffs on him. Why would you want to risk somebody's life or a police officer? But I understand, because if you want to apprehend them, you have to go to the ground. So that's a great answer for that. Go ahead, sir.
No, Ralph pretty much covered what I was going to say.
When you take him to the ground, are you supposed to punch him or not?
No,
You're not supposed to punch him?
not supposed to. But
That's
here's
not
If
fun.
you can, it's a bonus.
Yeah, I had this conversation the other day with one of our good friends, Ryan Cook. He came by the gym, and Ryan Cook's been in the police department now, I believe, in Pasco County for like 7-8 years now, and he's training the officers. So from 8 to 5, he's there. He's one of the officers that trains self-defense, the head jiu-jitsu guy, and he also trains hand-to-hand combat and the firearms. So we were talking about out of 700 police officers in their department, how many actually come and train, because they do it on their days off. They're allowed to come 3 days a week, and it's paid. So they get paid like overtime because they're going to get paid to train. He said maybe 10, 20 guys out of 700
Wow.
that do it, and they'll get paid for it. So imagine being paid to train and go fire guns and all that you could do on your days off. They don't do it.
It's crazy.
I'm sure you've seen some of the videos on YouTube that the police officer being attacked or somebody just grabbing him. I just hate the idea of the police officer has to really hand on somebody's shirt, to grabbing their uniform, because they have so much equipment. They have all these wires and I mean, they carry 30, 40 pounds of equipment. It's hard to fight.
And you always got to be worried about them grabbing your gun.
Exactly, and then you go to the ground. I think it makes it a lot harder when you go to the ground. We are wearing that much equipment. I wish they would change the law a little bit so they would allow the police officers to elbow somebody in the face and put an end to it, and then handcuff them and take them.
Yeah,
but they have to deal with the law.
But then you get some guys that would abuse.
That's what
that
they
power.
They never hired me. Yeah, the police department, because I'm too
You would
violent.
clean the
I
streets
guess.
up.
Well, let me ask you a question. This question is for both of you guys. You maybe could help me out to understand. So you have a 350-pound guy, okay? And I've heard this. At the police academy, St. Petersburg Police Department. So you have a 350-pound guy, 6'5". I mean, you're taller than me, but none of you guys are tall, so tall that you could be in that position. So you have a guy who's coming at 350 pounds, 6'4", 6'5", and his mission to just smash your brain and your head on the concrete. How do you neutralize a person like that?
9
Because that's
millimeter.
what. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I
say let Rob
I
answer that one,
appreciate
yeah.
the honesty, because I saw a person teaching the St. Pete Police Department years ago. I'm not going to mention the name. And they were talking about how you neutralize, and they had actually technique. But it's like, it reminds me of Steven Seagal. You attack first, then you attack me. I take every one of you guys one at a time. Cut, action is stop. That's a movie. And this guy exactly doing the same thing. To me, when you have somebody as small as I am, a 300-pound guy coming at me with the full force trying to destroy me, there's no such a thing as neutralizing. I don't care who you are. I mean, he's one of the best jiu-jitsu instructors. You are one of the best yourself. Well, sorry about that, guys. Let me shut this off. We cannot neutralize people. A 45 caliber works the best. Is that right? Or you have to use every ounce of violence you have ammunition, to destroy your opponent in the fastest way. Because there's no way in the world, in the real martial arts world, if I'm wrong, correct me,
No,
that you can
100%.
neutralize the 350 pounds. Size does matter. Size does matter. However, I do believe in the size does matter, but I also believe, because people will say, okay, if size does matter, then what the hell are you doing in the martial arts business? Why are you teaching martial arts? Well, it's better to know something than not knowing anything, number one. Number two, the confidence, the psychology of combat takes, because a lot of times, I'm sure people like you and I could avoid more fights than being involved one. Every time you avoid a fight, you're winning that fight, in my opinion. Yes. But say if you're in a fight, my philosophy when it comes to a real fight against somebody who's much bigger than me, if I couldn't avoid it and I couldn't run away, I couldn't do anything, I just have to fight, then I have to use every ounce of violence that I could use, whether it's biting, poking their eyes out, spitting on their face, distraction, art of distraction. All of that becomes a martial arts defensive move, in my opinion. However, I hate that word defense because I believe action is faster than reaction. So this is what I fight and debate that subject with people when they talk about size matter. Size does matter, yes. However, if I am in a situation that I have to fight a 300-pound guy, in an unknown situation, everybody's equally vulnerable. Do you agree with that or not?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I'm going to have to do whatever I have to do to finish that fight.
Yeah, because
Go ahead.
it's life or death. We have the perfect guy here. Back in the day, he's actually rolled with Shaquille O'Neal. So Shaquille O'Neal is one of the biggest human beings in the world. So I'll let him tell that story.
Yeah, you told me last time.
No, didn't yeah?
Yeah, he told you the guy lifted you up, you trying to do armbar or
I
something?
armbarred him in like the first 10 seconds maybe of the match. I was like, I got it. I couldn't move his arm like if there was three of me. And he just picked me up. He stood up, picked me up in the air. I know there's no video here, unfortunately, but he basically picked me up over his head like I was a baby. Like I was a baby. Like we're two different species. He was so freaking strong. It was shocking.
And Rob's about what, 190?
I was probably about 180 at the time, 185.
Yeah.
So I'm not like a small guy.
Yeah, so imagine that's what we're talking about. That's who.
I mean, in that case, I mean, it's just, it's amazing. So Rob, you're known for choking people out calmly. That's what I like about you. People look at you, and I love that thing about you. I mean, something about you that is, in my opinion, even though I've seen you in action teaching my students and the people, and I learned so much from just watching you teaching. It's amazing that looks could be deceiving. Because looking at you, like somebody look at me, they don't think of a much of a tough guy, which I'm not. But
I look
then,
like just a middle-aged man with posture problems.
yeah, you get up, oh, my back hurts. All of a sudden, Victor is going, oh, let go. All right, tell me about that. I mean, I love the fact that there's one guy came to my school, and my brother, we used to have a supply store on 4th Street in St. Pete. So this guy goes to, the reason I'm telling this story, because to me, a real master is a real martial artist. They don't have to advertise what they do. They just do what they do, and that's it. So this guy, my brother called me. He said, Amir, I just want to warn you, somebody's coming to the academy right now to challenge you guys. I said, why? He said, because I got upset when he was bragging too much, and I told him, go see my brother. I said, well, you're so stupid. I mean, you wouldn't do that. He says, well, you won't believe what it says on his tag. I said, what? He says, it's choking you. That was his tag.
Oh, wow.
So anytime somebody advertises themselves like that, I know that's the one that I'm going to win. Because I just don't believe that's a real. See, that's the beauty of, and the guy did show up and he did not walk out. So, and I put him against one of my guys because really, if you're a tough guy, you're not going to talk about it like that.
Yeah.
But about you is that every time I see you, you're so humble, so nice, everybody loves you here. But then when you get on the mat, it's a different story. So tell me about that. Talk about that.
It just, this is what we do. It's like, this is what I saw it. I love it. This is what's been my passion for 30 years. So it's like I get on the mat. I'm in my element. I'm having fun. I'm working on, figuring out more technique and perfecting the ones I have. It's just it's what keeps me sane. And
I admire your patience because he is extremely. I mean, you've seen him in action. Is extremely patient with his students. I mean, we have guys that some guys are not teachable, are hard to teach, and those are, if you could teach those type of students, that shows that you could teach anyone. And I've seen you being very patient with some of the guys here that I just want to punch them in the face, sometimes. And I'm sure you've been in a situation like that. But if you could be patient enough that you could teach somebody like that, then you could teach anyone. Tell me what you think about that.
About being on the mat.
Being on the mat, because you're so relaxed. You're such a nice guy. I mean, we've been friends for a long time. I've known you for a long time. I've actually known you longer than I've known Master Kahn. But I've known you for a long time, and you've always been a gentleman. You've always been very respectful. And to me, that's the reason, I guess, it draws together to be friends, because that level of humbleness, I really appreciate. And it always comes from the point of, in my opinion, it comes from a place of power.
Yeah.
When somebody as humble as you are, that comes from a place of power. That means you have the ability and you know what you're doing. But so, if you could explain that to me, I appreciate it, so people wouldn't understand why.
It's just like having a superpower and not having to use it. But like you said, it's there in case I do need it. Like diffusing situations, we've all done security at some point or another, but it's always diffuse a situation. Everybody's there having a good time. And most guys that do security jobs really don't train. And what's their MO? They want to beat somebody up so they can brag how tough they were and they got 400 street fights or whatever. So our thing was always like diffuse the situation, get them outside. If we have to grab them, as long as we get them outside, they're still okay. They can come back next week. You don't want to have to hurt somebody, get a lawsuit, hurt somebody where they might die, because nothing good comes out of a street fight. Or a bar fight.
Exactly.
Someone's either going to die or someone's going to get hurt. And
look at what happened to Dave Yost.
Yeah. And it wasn't even his fault. It was his buddy that was running his mouth that got him in that situation, which happens eight times out of 10. But it's just knowing your environment and trying to diffuse a situation. Sometimes we use humor to diffuse a situation, because when you're sitting there and the guy's mad at the world and he wants to fight, but then he looks at one of us or looks at the person that's training, and he doesn't know they train, but man, why is this guy so calm? This guy's, he's not yelling, he's not shouting.
You got to be scared of that guy.
Yeah. So there's something he knows that I don't know,
we have an expression in Iran. We say that be afraid of the guy who doesn't make any noise.
Yeah.
And
he's the smartest guy in the room.
Exactly. And usually the guys that don't make noise, those are the guys you have to be concerned about. The guy who's the most quiet. And I've seen some of the smallest guys, very relaxed, very quiet, all of a sudden, bomb, explosion, and they would just I've seen them put the biggest guy down just by being calm and collective and having the knowledge, knowing, as you said, knowing that you have the Superman or superpower and that use it when you have to. That's very smart. Now, I want to ask you a question. You ran a school for a long time. You had your own schools, many of them that you have done. Have you ever been challenged? Have you ever had anybody walk in? That's just like a given in our business. Somebody will walk into your school, like the guy that's choking you. Have you had a situation that somebody will come to your school, no matter what you did, the guy would not leave unless you have to teach him a lesson?
Yeah, I've had it one time. There was a guy that he was in his 20s, early 20s, and he said he was Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and he came into the gym. And he came in, I let him roll my purple belts, and I did basic stuff on purpose to see what he knows. And I'm watching him drill, and you could tell he's not. So I let him roll the purple belts, he gets tapped out. One of my guys taps him out like 2 or 3 times with the same move in a row, and he was like, I caught you in the same move, I passed your guard the same way, and I caught you in the same corner choke. And he said, oh man, you guys' jiu-jitsu is just different. Come on, dude, really? So then I told him, look, you're not a black belt. And I remember saying this, I go, you're not a black belt. And you're lucky you came here instead of going to Rob's place, because if you went to Rob's place, they would have broke your arm. I go, because they don't play that.
Oh, he's not that mean.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah.
So I go, if you're serious about training, wear a white belt next time you come here. Guess what the kid did? So then he said he had 20-something fights, 30 fights, whatever. So he's still with the thing. And then one day he was doing the wrestling class. At that time I had a bigger gym. And I was teaching the kickboxing class. And he goes, man, I can't wait to spar with you. I think I could take you or something. I was like, bring your stuff tomorrow and we'll spar. And he did. And I ended up fracturing his ribs with one kick, and that was it. And I never saw him again.
And you talk so calmly about it. I love it.
Yeah, it's just good. One of those things.
It is what
don't
it is.
Put me in that spot, but I'm giving you ways out, and you keep on, and then eventually it's, all right, it has to happen.
It's got to happen.
Yeah, I think we've all experienced people coming in. And
do you have one particular one that is funny you could tell us?
Yeah, one time when I was first opened up in Cultus, we had like the aerobics room. It was when I first opened, and this is very early on too. So I'm in there one day, and there's this guy comes up to the doorway, and he's watching. You know, I mean, I had people from the gym always come up and watch at the doorway. It wasn't a big deal, but he's critiquing my class. Like I'm teaching the class, and he's in the doorway with a friend, and he's like, that shit would never work on me, because what I would do, and he was explaining how everything I'm teaching at the moment is not going to work. I'm like,
Right in front of you.
right in front of me, like
Wow.
right in the doorway. And I'm like, you know, the first couple times I let it go, and then finally, like, you know, my students are looking at me like, who's this guy, you know? So I was like, really? So I brought him in on the mat, and I had Arroyo there. Arroyo was a blue belt, and I had him go with Arroyo, and he explained to me how he would get out of all this stuff. And Arroyo just beat the hell out of him for like a solid 30 minutes.
And Matt is such a respectful, nice guy too.
But when you tell Matt to put it on somebody, he'll put it on somebody.
I was watching him say something. He does a lot of videos on Instagram. He was saying, "Hey guys, come on, don't do this to yourself. Don't come to a jiu-jitsu school and claim that you're a black belt. It's not gonna end up well."
No.
It was something like that. I really enjoyed the way he would explain. And I think it's a.
We actually had one come in, fake a black belt, and then wound up staying to get his real black belt 10 years later from us.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, I want to tell you a funny story. I had a student named Fernando Malagan. Now, Fernando got killed, unfortunately, in a road rage. And that tells you all the martial arts in the world. Doesn't mean anything if somebody shoots you in the head. But the funny story was that we had a guy came to my school, and he wanted to challenge us. And I hate the word challenge because that's exactly the word they use. You know, I want to see what you guys are about. That's what the guy said. I said, you want to join the class or you want to spar? And what? No, I don't want to join the class. You know, I just want to show you what I do. So, okay. So I had Fernando put the gear up. And Fernando was one of the top fighters, one of my top fighters. I had a Taekwondo base, very fast, spinning back kick would break anybody's rib. The guy was amazing. No knowledge of jiu-jitsu whatsoever, none, zero, just all stand-up kickboxing. So the guy was a grappler, he was a wrestler. Not jiu-jitsu, but a wrestler. So the moment they started sparring, he took Fernando down really hard. And then he was on top of Fernando. Fernando was struggling to get up, he couldn't. This was supposed to be, so it was not a sparring match, it was more like a challenge. All of a sudden, this guy that was on top of Fernando screamed from the bottom of his lung, jumped like a cat. I mean, jumped in the air like probably 5 feet off the floor, grabbing his chest. Fernando took a bite of his boob, his nipple. The guy started bleeding. I said, "What the F are you doing? This is supposed to be..." I said, "No." Fernando says, "No, buddy, you told me you want to challenge us, so I am taking this as a street fight. I don't know jiu-jitsu, I don't know that shit, I don't know the grappling. You come on top of me, I want to bite you." Yeah. So that was one of the funniest stories that I've seen. And that guy ended up joining our school and became one of the good martial artists after that. But it took a while because it was a big bite.
I bit John Burke one time.
Oh, really? Your friend?
Yeah. No, he deserved it though. we were doing this drill at the Gracie Academy where like me and you were sparring, right? And let's say you're getting the better of me, so you're on top. Maybe you're passing my guard. Maybe you're mounted. Well, Hoist would come over and be like, "Amir, jump her out from behind." So he would, you know, jump you, pull you off, just strictly grappling. But I guess Hoist had told John, like, rough him up really bad, like, do it, you know, because they always, you know, we always mess with each other. So John, like, jumps on me. I turn around, and so now he's mounted on me. And he starts, like, full hand blasting me in the face with smacks. I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me. Like, this is, you know, we're not doing striking now." And he's like, "Sorry." Like, Hoist is telling me to rough you up, you know? So I bump my hips. He falls down to, like, kind of base himself. So his chest was right on my face. I bit into his chest. I wouldn't let go. He was palm striking me in the face, trying to get me off him. I held on for like a good 30 seconds.
Oh my God!
He had
Was he bleeding?
Right through the gi. It was like you could see the teeth marks. Didn't quite break the skin, but there was like a little blood. It was nice. It was good. He deserved it.
I'm sure you heard this before. A new student comes to your school and says, "I want to be a fighter. I want to be a champion." Yeah. If somebody walks into your school and say, "I want to become a champion," what would both of you agree that needs to be done in order for that person to ever become a champion one day?
They need to come to class and train. And most of the time, those guys that come in saying that are consistent, and they weed themselves out within a few months.
Have you had a person that comes so sure of themselves that they want to be a fighter, they want to be a champion, where they got hit the first time, they never came back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens all the time.
I would say, 9 out of 10 times that those guys don't come back.
Fighting looks much more exciting when you're not in the ring doing it.
Yeah. Well, I think what it is too, they have this fake or non-realistic expectation. They see the fights, so they think that's what it is. Oh, I'm just going to go in there and fight people. They don't see all the training that goes into it and what you got to do, because that's the hard part, is the training. The fight's the easy part. If you did everything right, end of the day, win or lose, the fight should be easy compared to all the training that you do to get ready for it. So none of these guys really want to train. And that's the norm today, is all these guys want to post videos about, look at me, I'm doing this, how good I am. And then they want to pick easy fights to boost their record up.
Yeah.
And they think they're going to make the big show like that, and they're not.
No, I understand. So let's talk about something. Between three of us, we have close to 200 years of experience in martial arts. I mean, a lot of years.
Yeah, we're all old.
Older. Come
Yeah.
on. You said, last time you said vintage. Is that what you said?
Yeah, vintage.
All right. We have a lot of experience. So, but I want to ask you this question. You believe in evolution in martial arts?
Yeah,
obviously.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So explain I want people to hear this, because what really worked 25, 20, 30 years ago, if you do believe in evolution of martial arts, what worked 25 years ago, a lot of stuff that worked then probably doesn't work right now. So as a martial arts instructor, do you agree that we need to always stay as a student and keep learning as an instructor and be able to improve what we taught 20 some years ago? I got to make those changes now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this, like the jiu-jitsu I do today is a good bit different than the jiu-jitsu I did 2 years ago. And 2 years before that, and 2 years before that. I think martial arts is all about, figuring it out what works for you, making those little adjustments and modifications to fit your game. And I think you're going to be doing that.
So it's been times that you taught a technique and you went back and redid it, or perfected it, and improved it.
Yeah, but I would say it's more of like on the job learning it. You do it a number of years.
That's what I mean. You've done it for so long, then you know what works, what does not work.
You start making little adjustments over the years, for sure. Absolutely, make it yours.
Now, going back to you, Ralph, there are techniques in jiu-jitsu that it might work on 90% of people, but there are some people that do, just like Shaquille, so big, so strong. What do we do in a situation like that? I'm not talking about the street fight. Street fight is a different game. But on the mat, there are techniques that you probably have to adjust yourself. If this move doesn't work, I got to go to the next move. Is that right? You don't waste your time forever on trying to put somebody in an armbar if it's not working for that person.
But like when you do it for so long, it's almost like when you do stand-up, you chain everything. So it's a combination stuff. So if I go for this, it's not there, I'm going to go from there to here. Like he always says, I'm going to funnel down till I get you where I want you. So I might not get you with this one, but then eventually I'm going to catch you where now you can't escape at all. And I'm going to catch you in something, whether it be, which if it's someone bigger, I don't want to be on the bottom. I'm looking for a sweep or trying to get back to my feet, trying to neutralize it where I can get on top.
Have you ever had a situation, the next question, obviously everything that we talk about is martial arts and martial arts related anyway, but I know you train a lot of fighters. You've trained more fighters and cornered more fighters than most people even train, Have you ever had a situation, because I know you're honest with your students, with your fighters. I have to do that. Somebody wants to come to you or they want to become a fighter, and you as a coach have to tell them, hey guys, this is not for you.
Oh yeah.
Not going to happen. And not worry about losing that student just because you're killing their spirit. Now, that's not your intention, but I know you're going to be 100% honest with your student. Have you had a situation you have to tell someone, hey guys, find a different path?
Yeah, multiple times, I think.
But
right?
it's not a heart-to-heart that we have at that point with them, I think. It's not really like, hey, you suck, get out of here. It's maybe this isn't for you, but you could still train and you could still do other avenues of what we do, because honestly, we could do if you can't do kickboxing or MMA, you can still compete in jiu-jitsu or anything else that we do. Or maybe they just enjoy the atmosphere, or it's a part of their life now.
Or they want to be a teacher.
Yeah, they want to teach or something, because not everybody's going to be a great fighter. But just because you weren't a great fighter doesn't mean you're not going to be a great coach.
Because I always tell those students, because we are a fighting school, so I have a lot of people that come to the school. Wake up, guy.
Hopefully that's not how the podcast
He
is
says he
gonna
wants to watch a podcast, then he's falling asleep and snoring. All right.
How do you fall asleep on your elbow?
Practice, huh?
That's impressive.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So I tell, because we are fighting school, so I tell a lot of people want to fight. And when they get excited, they come to the Battle of Tampa Bay, all of a sudden I get phone calls, I want to be a fighter. We only know there's a very small percentage of people that compete. You know,
Or that are
maybe
really
close-
fighters. You're either born with it or you're not.
Yeah. I mean, you cannot teach heart. I mean, that's number one thing. I think a person has to have the heart to even get in the ring, because once you get in the ring, then you cannot run away. So that shows that's, to me, that's the first step when I test somebody. So that's a very good point. But it's only a small percentage that be able to, the only small percentage that compete. Mm-hmm. And then out of that 2%, only 0.0001% ever get to the level of UFC fight. So, but I always tell fighters, just like you said, or students, martial arts is not just for the guys who are competing at UFC. I mean, the principles of martial arts are what we do, what we teach kids: discipline, respect. Stand up for yourself. You don't have to be a fighter in the ring to be a fighter. You could be a fighter for life. Is that correct? I mean, I know a lot of good fighters that have never been in the ring, but I guarantee you, these guys could fight. Yeah. I've seen some tremendous students. I do have right now students that they're extremely strong. When they spar, they give my fighters who compete in the ring, they give them a hard time, but they don't want to get in the ring. They don't like to be on the stage, so.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's absolutely not. Absolutely not. Look at how many, Shaolin fighters we have in China that is against the 10 commitments that they have, that they would never compete. But they're amazing. The conditioning, the level of fighting ability is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, I've asked this question before. Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I want to take both you guys. I want to know what the difference is. How would you explain that to people? What is the difference between a Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I think the culture of the Japanese is a little more strict, a little more rigid. Mm-hmm. So the Jiu-Jitsu of 400 years ago in Japan, Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, is probably very similar that it is today. Whereas Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they didn't have that traditional mindset. So they were able to kind of modify it over the years, over the decades, see what works, see what doesn't work, and make legitimate changes so that you could see the art in like 1929, and then what the Gracies have created in nowadays. It's a different art. It's definitely modified quite a bit.
And going back to what he was saying about the Japanese, real strict, you know how it is, the Japanese, the Koreans, all the different martial arts that come from the Asian background. Yes, sir, no, sir, everything's strict, bow when you come to the mat. Where the Brazilians evolved a lot, where, especially with Carlson's people, where it's more laid back, they're wearing sandals and shorts everywhere. It's not as
disciplined
as that. But when you get on the mat, you're drilling.
The
it's
techniques
different.
are good.
But it's more of a hang loose kind of hippie.
Less formal, for sure.
Yeah, hippie kind of thing. Yeah.
Now, you as an active teacher and you own a beautiful school, big school, been around for a long time. How many seconds does it take for you to decide when somebody walks into the door, they're teachable, or they're just to take pictures for Instagram and show off? How does it? How long does it take you, basically?
Probably a few classes. You could always see someone's MO in a few classes. Yeah, I watch everything. I have this new kid, USF kid, play basketball, 6'7", 6'8", and he's probably early 20s. And he came in, he goes, I have no experience. But I'm watching him, and he's throwing some kicks and punches, and he's picking up on stuff. He's grappling, he's going for Americana, going for armbar. I'm like, this kid says he's never trained before. This is his first week. Get out of here, So I know he's got some kind of training, so I'm trying to figure him out. So he's only been with us a week, so he's on my radar right now. Yeah.
That I don't like. Yeah. I don't like those kind of people. And it goes both ways. I hate it when the guy comes to, I'm a black belt, and they don't know crap. And I hate it when somebody says, I only have 2 months of training, and they come with it, try and kill everyone. Yeah. I am against both. So to me, that is just as bad. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, it's just creepy. Like, it's just you're starting on such a bad foot. You're lying about your background.
Yeah.
Just to get in and get some cheap wins against, I don't know.
So then we were like, look how he's a natural.
Oh, yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Not only is he able to do the armbar, he invented it in his head because he's never been taught it, apparently.
He's Derek Moneyberg. Let me give him this black belt.
Yeah.
I've seen some hardcore jiu-jitsu instructors, I'm not going to mention name, that they truly believe jiu-jitsu is the only thing they need. It's the only thing you need. That's the only art, and without it, you're nothing. Do you think that's a true statement?
Well, when the jiu-jitsu first came around and the evolution of it, there was strikes and everything started from standing with strikes. Like if you look at the old fights with Carlson Sr., when Carlson fought, he was throwing leg kicks, he was boxing, he's wrestling takedowns, judo takedowns, control. So, I mean, jiu-jitsu was kind of a whole at one point, but to me is today's jiu-jitsu, especially the competition, a lot of these guys, they pull guard right away, they butt scoop, they have no takedowns. So you have to have other arts involved in it. To me though, but I don't know, Rob can answer better on this. I think original jiu-jitsu was more of a well-rounded.
Yeah, but I think nowadays, just the way modern society is, like people are going to find what they like about jiu-jitsu, and if it gets them on the mat and keeps them interested and keeps them paying memberships.
That's true.
I guess my question was more like, I mean, you both are black belts in jiu-jitsu, but you also know boxing. You also know how to kick. You also, 7th degree black belt in, or 6th degree, I don't know, 7th degree black belt in Taekwondo. So, I mean, to me, that is absolutely a must. Striking your skills is a must.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't think you could just discount that and say, okay, no, I can fight anyone with jiu-jitsu. I mean, I think you as a jiu-jitsu expert, 4th degree, is that right? And Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, 3rd degree black belt in jiu, and Rob, his level of expertise, the last place you want to go probably is to the ground in a real street fight. Is that right?
For sure.
I mean, but if you end up going there, at least you feel more comfortable because you have the skills to take care of it. But is that something that you tell your students that, okay, guys, this is what we do when we go to the ground, but try not to go to the ground?
Oh yeah. And if I do end up on the ground, I want to be on top. But always, there's going to be, especially in a fight, street fight, there's going to be multiple attackers, guys. No one fights fair. So you got to be watching around. But at the same point, if you're a good striker, you have to have that takedown defense too, because if I'm just a striker, boom, boom, and then you get taken down, now you're screwed because you're on the ground. But if you have that confidence in your striking, because I can stop the takedown or I know how to work inside the clinch, then you're going to let your hands and your feet go, which a lot of guys don't do that because they're scared of going to the floor.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Well, let's talk about something.
Fear going to the ground is like one of the best weapons we have because nobody wants to go to the ground with you, so they don't want to throw anything with any real.
So then it makes
commit
the
to it.
grappler striking look good because the other guy's scared. Khabib's a perfect example.
Worried about the takedown every second. 100%.
Oh, you mentioned Khabib. No, Khabib was one of my favorite fighters. However, if you bring Khabib at the top of his shape when he was competing at the top level, and bring George St. Pierre at his top level, which one do you think would win the fight?
Knowing that, like one of my top favorites. So
he was
more
good,
well-rounded.
He was very good on the ground too.
Yeah, but I don't know. Khabib's wrestling was a different level too. That's a fight.
So was George. George
Yeah.
took every single person he ever wrestled down.
Yeah, without having a wrestling background.
And he took down Division I All-Americans. So I mean, and George is a little bigger.
Yeah,
George is a little bit bigger.
But I mean, even though I love Khabib and I love George St. Pierre, they're both two of my favorite fighters, I still think George St. Pierre would win if they were both at the same time, same age, same level, because his striking skill was much better than Khabib. To me, Khabib, I mean, he came to my school, we trained with us, I enjoyed him, he was a nice guy, but I don't think his hands or stand-up was good. He was a tough guy, he could take a hit, but I don't think his hands were as good as his grappling. But what George St. Pierre was such a great, you've seen his boxing skills and kicking skills, coming from a traditional background, you know.
Just the stat that always shocks me about George, like, he never wrestled, like growing up. Never wrestled. He didn't start wrestling until he started doing MMA, and within like 3 or 4 years, he was the best wrestler in MMA, better than all the people who wrestled their whole lives. Like that's insane that you can get that good in wrestling in a few years. There's the level of athleticism that guy is just insane.
I have one question for both of you. I would have a prize for you if you answer this correctly. Of course, if you answered it correctly, in my opinion. Since I'm the host, I'm going to buy you both lunch or dinner, whatever you want. Who's the most hated name in the world of martial arts, period? One name.
Dylan Dennis.
What's his name?
Okay, let me.
The guy from that used to be ATT. And Kobe Covington.
Colby Covington.
Yeah.
But I said martial arts. I didn't say fighting game. I said one person. Let me give you a hint. The most hated name in the world of martial arts universe altogether was I'm not just talking about UFC fighters. I'm talking about martial arts. One more chance. Come on, everybody knows this guy. I mean, it makes me want to puke when I see him.
He's a martial artist.
supposedly?
Steven Seagal.
Thank you. I owe you dinner.
I don't dislike or hate's a strong word. I don't
man.
hate Steven Seagal,
Oh,
but
I hate him.
I can't. You know what? You're right. Hate is a strong word, but you know what? There are a few people in my world, in my life, that I reserve that word to use it for that person. One of them is Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Can't stand the attitude. Can't stand the personality.
Pathological liar.
And the garbage that he says. I mean, one day he's Russian, one day he's Chinese, one day he's Italian mob. You know, it's like.
I have a question for you
Yes.
before you close out.
Sure, sure.
And this is only in the heavyweight division. Give me, each of you guys, who you think is your best all-around heavyweight MMA or martial arts fighter of all time, heavyweight.
For me, it's John Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be John Jones. But Cain Velasquez will get my honorable mention.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'd never get tired of talking to you guys. You guys are wonderful. I love you both very much. Have a lot
Likewise,
of
my friend.
respect for both
Likewise.
of you guys, and I'm sure we see each other at the Battle of Tampa Bay again, and many other events
I
that we
hope
do
you guys
together.
come out to my event January 17th, World
absolutely.
Class Fight League.
Absolutely,
I got you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, if you need any fighters, let me know. I mean, I know you probably have everybody matched up, but in
I
case
actually
you-
hired a matchmaker for the first time ever in 14 years, Jason Jimenez. So we're sitting at about 28 to 30 fights, I think, right now.
That's
So
amazing.
I'm
What time
hoping-
the fight starts?
4 p.m.
4
That's going to
p.m.
be
You have
Saturday.
60 fighters on the card.
I know.
Man.
The most I've ever
I hope
done
they're
is
organized.
28 in one night.
Wow.
Who's managing the event? You?
Yeah.
Then
yeah.
be fine.
We've always been
Yeah.
doing
As
it. The
long
key
as-
is the people I have in the back being organized and getting the guys on
Same
point.
thing we do at the Battle of Tampa Bay. Make sure.
You know what's the worst?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have the same problem. My biggest problem is my own guys because I'm not back there coaching and wrapping hands. So my guys come in late and they think so I'm like, all right, next fight. Like, oh, it's your guy. He's taking forever. I'm gonna have to pull these guys fights.
So I have a lot of good volunteers who've been with me for years, but I also have a couple of paid employees that they make sure their job depends on making sure everybody's ready, and so I take a lot of pride when it comes to the Battle of Tampa Bay because I think I promote a good show.
I love coming to your show just to hang out because I get to hang out with my wife and watch fights. So I'm like, all right, I want to give them
Just sit
guys,
down,
but
relax.
then I can't enjoy the show. I like hanging out, watching,
Yeah.
and mingling with people I don't see. that
Definitely a
often.
pleasure having you guys. Next fight is May 9th at the same hotel, same place. And because it's a Mother's Day weekend, so we're going to be honoring some moms,
nice.
Military moms.
I love what you did the last time too
Thank
with the whole Christmas thing and giving
Yeah, that was great.
the
Thank
house
you.
the car.
Thank you. And this next Friday, December 19th, and I'd like to invite you and your wife, if you guys have the time to come. We are giving away a couple of thousand toys to underprivileged kids, and the toys are in that corner. We have them here stored.
So you guys doing it here or something?
We're here. We're doing it here. We're gonna have dinner for everyone. We're gonna have an Italian buffet for all the parents and the kids. And so the member of the academy and the people, I'd love to have you if you and your wife could join us.
And I mean, look at my schedule right now. I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's from 4 to 6. We start at 4. We're gonna eat, and then we're gonna give the toys. And I'd like for you to participate in handing toys to the kids if you can. If Master
What
Kahn
time
could
is
be
that?
Here.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it starts at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I could be here. But I can't be here that early, but I could be here probably about 6 or so.
We're done by then.
Oh, is it already?
Yeah.
So it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
it
4
starts
to
up?
4:30 to eat, and around 4:30, 4:45, we have Santa Claus for the kids, and then we're going to give the toys away. And a lot of these kids are coming here; they're burn survivors. So these kids have a lot of issues. So we want to make sure the Christmas, a happy Christmas, and give them a
Let
lot
me
of
see what I
toys.
can do to make it at 4. So
Hey, that would be great, man. It would be a great honor to have you. I want to be able to have you guys and take pictures with the kids and give them the toys. And you see the smile on their faces, you just melts your heart. It's beautiful. Anyway, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, my
You're
friend.
awesome. Thanks for
Appreciate it.
being so generous with your time, gentlemen.
Anytime you need
And hey, guys, go on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and I'm sure this is going to be one of our most special episodes we did. Thanks for everything. Have a wonderful weekend, and take it easy.
Peace.
Bye-bye.